Hello, my name is Mark Boyer, and this is a follow-up to my last video, which was pretty dire straits, and it should need some explanation, in spite of the fact that we're running out of time. Bottom line is, the signs of our end times are everywhere. Okay, what's happening in the Middle East right now is what Matthew 24 calls the voice from the West being heard. Okay, and the answer will come from the east, over there, which is Israel. It's inevitable. Okay, all great conflicts happen in the spring because of a Matthew 20, a Jesus prophecy to the effect that it will happen when when the fig leaves sprout their shoots. And the reality is that's this spring or next spring. Because the Masons have been planning for a few hundred years now our demise. And they'll do it in the spring. And look around you, okay? There's a polar shift happening. There's earthquakes happening. And on the polar shift, okay, I would think that there are Masons out there who actually believe that all of these real God forces that are happening while they're doing what they're doing in the final stages is proof that God is on their side. And I'm saying flat out, it's proof that God won't let you get away with it. Okay? On the grounds that these really are our end times. They really asked for our end times, and they're getting our end times. Now, they can act like they don't know anything, but you know what? I found this beautiful book here called The Anglican Church and the Spirit of Masonry. Okay? It's quite a good read. It was written in 2000, the last amendment, 2004. And it outlines the work of an Anglican minister who sent this to every bishop, and it's been reprinted many times. So nobody can say that your churches don't know it, okay? And in here, they're outlining all sorts of things. Okay, pointing out that back in 1894, the Anglican Church was well disciplined and knew that there was this guy called Albert Pike, who was very powerful in their movement, and he was doing the demise through the churches. Okay, and then it points out that in 1926 there was a general order given from a Blue Lodge, I think it is here, but it's in the same neighborhood of where Albert Pike was, saying that every good Mason should join any church that he cares to in order to subvert it, to bring in their liberal beliefs and Masonic agenda to the churches and infiltrate the churches. Okay? This is clearly outlined in here. And then it points out, it gives examples, letters, dates, marks. Then it points out that in 1956, somebody took, a task and actually got the churches the Anglican Church to look it over and carefully do it and give a yes or no, and they had a 1-year answer, and at the end of 1 year, they said, we don't know. When their mandate was a yes or no, and I'm telling you that ever since then, these people have been, those perverts, have been justifying that, see, the churches endorse satanic beliefs, okay? And anyone who believes that a Mason is not a Satan worshiper just has to read the works of other Christians who have repented and gone away from the Masons, because they really do see that their impending doom is there. Okay? Among the degrees that people say are totally Masonic, and I'm surprised by some of them, but I'm quoting somebody else. Well, the 33rd and Supreme degree, obviously. The Blue Lodge is obviously, okay? Says the York Rite, and they quote a lot of the York Rite for sure. The Holy Royal Arch degree, all Masons, okay? The ancient and accepted of Scottish Rite. Only the 18th, 30th, 31st, 32nd, and 33rd degrees are operated in Commonwealth countries. That's what it says, okay? The Charter of the Rose of Christians, or the Rose Croix, okay? And the 18th degree Masons, and the Council of Kodosh, okay, is another one in the Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret. And this one here that says only applicable to North America, and that's the Shriners, are included in there, okay? Now you listen to any Mason out there, and he will tell you that they're a ragtag group of individuals, okay? Now one of those that were not mentioned there was the Rhodes Society, okay? Now, as I was saying, the Cecil Rhodes Scholars are not mentioned in this list, okay? And there clearly are Cecil Rhodes Scholars who go to Anglican churches, okay? But somehow they're not included in there. And bottom line is, everything that I'm doing is fulfilling Cecil Rhodes' dream, okay? And that's all there is to it. And Cecil Rhodes was responsible for educating a whole bunch of poor people who were bright and educated, and they were placed in very high places throughout the world, okay? And the reality is you should give credit to the man who funded you, who gave you the break, and held you to the trust that if you saw the trust unfolding of Isaiah, act. Okay, and they're not. You know, either that or they're about to. And that's the reality, okay? We're down to, and I'll make a reference to Revelations, as Revelation says that there are two bodies that have been handed to Satan, okay? And I'm saying flat out, with the fact that the new generation, the new Jerusalem was filed, is to the fact that Jewish dog-star God-haters have already been handed over to Satan. And that's all there is to it. And on that, I have to point out that, in one day, I'm supposed to be able to say I'm sorry, except I'm sorry. 7 times, 7 times, times 7 times, on the last day, if someone says they're sorry, I'm supposed to accept that over and over and over again, and everyone out there is supposed to accept that. Okay? Because it really is a big event for these people to actually have to say it. Okay? Take my word for it. It breaks their heart to have to say it. But you know what? Rhodes Scholars and have to react. And that's all there is to it. I frankly think they're the ones who hold the keys and power that can do something about what's happening right now. Because there's got to be someone out there with a conscience among Masons. And frankly, if it's two, as Revelation says, he's condemned 2 bodies, well, that's the road. All of this that I'm doing is merely the fulfilling of a bloodbath, which is going to happen. And that's all there is to it, okay? I am doing the voice from the West, and the answer has to come from the East. They've got a Supreme Court ruling that redeems all debt in the world and leaves those who are in power. And the reality is that's what it's all about. They want to remain in power, well, they need to start upholding God's creation, or they will destroy it. It's black and white, okay? On the card that I gave to them, it was on a 10-pound note paper. When you folded it, it broke. Okay, broken contract. And I could have given it in color, but I gave it as a black and white, because it really is a black and white issue. Repent or perish, okay? It has to come, the voice has come from the West. It's demanding that people in the East do what they do, and you're running out of time. And the reality is nowhere in that prophecy does it say on the 2300th day is anything happening serious. I'm just saying that on the 2300th day is when there'll be two bodies handed over to Satan. Okay? And that's every Mason. Because that ragtag group of individuals remain ragtag because this day. Okay? And if Masons don't get that they have to rebel before the world is destroyed, because, you know what, the message has been delivered. And if they don't get it, they don't get it. You're going to witness you're witnessing a powerful delusion sent by God to those who delighted in wickedness. And as I said to one lawyer who was involved with me, I went and served these papers. I came to him, looked him in the face and said, you were offered the transfiguration and the disfiguration of Isaiah 53 has started. And I don't have a problem with that. That prophecy clearly says I'll be greatly disfigured, but I don't have a problem with that, okay? Bottom line is that prophecy says I will leave. This happens when I leave. And nothing can stop me from leaving this spring. I'm not doing it in the winter. That's another 2-3 weeks right now they can arrest me and fulfill Matthew 24, or they can do it to fulfill Romans 13, which is, I will send you a messenger to do good, and if you do good, you will be rewarded. But if you don't, he does not carry that sword for nothing. And the voice from the West is crying this out. And as I said, bottom line is, all grace is being offered, and everyone wants the glory of Armageddon.